What's up, guys? Welcome to episode number 12 of the Formula 1 2019 Noob Career Mode. We are here for the German GP at the Hockenheim Ring, obviously in Germany. And this race was quite a bit of a challenge. But first and foremost, we've got to get into the laptop here and have a look at our messages. See, there's our target for what we've got to do. And we had the two engine upgrades succeed there, but the major chassis upgrade that we asked for actually failed on us, unfortunately. So that's a little bit of a setback, but we are still on an upwards trajectory at the moment, still ahead of Alfa Romeo, McLaren and Toro Rosso. So we are going to, when we can afford it, put the engine cover upgrade here back on, because as you see there, we are still last as far as the chassis department goes in the entire field. And once we start getting better chassis, we'll probably start going up quite the fair bit as we head straight on into qualifying.
Welcome back to qualifying, where we're waiting for the lights to turn green in the pit lane to signify the start of the session here at the Hockenheim Ring for this weekend's German Grand Prix. Drivers tend to complain about tyre wear around this track, and the compounds on offer this weekend aren't likely to put that issue to bed. Is this going to be about who can make the tyres last?
Tyre wear is always something you have to consider to a certain degree. Finding a good car balance that suits the circuit will help prolong the life of the tyre, but it's true that some circuits, such as this one, are more challenging than others. How hard you can push them depends on your strategy and how tight the battle is around you.
Alright, so here we go for our first time lap in Q1. And yeah, I was struggling for pace quite a fair bit here in Germany. I'm not sure what was going on, but I just was not comfortable this entire weekend as we go drifting through turn 2 there, up along this long parabolica style corner. 332 kilometers per hour before we hit the braking zone. All the way down the first gear so we can get the drive out of the corner. Going all the way up through the gears to 7th, almost, yep, into 8th before we jam it right back down to 3rd here. Missing all the apexes that I possibly can because, well, who needs an apex? As we see, we've technically gone purple to the first sector as Kimi Räikkönen does the first quick lap of qualifying 1. Daniel Ricciardo with a 1:15.9 now. We'll come across the line and it's only going to be a good enough for 10th place, a 1:16.019. Lucas Weber in 7th, Pierre Gasly 4th, my teammate George Russell up into 11th, and Devin Butler struggling to get out of Q3 again, down in 17th. As we head on now to Q2, the pressure is going to be on us right now to try and make it into Q3. We're only going to have this one shot to make it because I don't like making 2 runs at it, and we absolutely butcher that apex. Missed it by half a country mile. As we come up to the tight hairpin again, right back down the first, get that drive out. Lucas Weaver's gone quick time at the moment with a 1:15.9. as we're now running on the drag strip. Jam it down into 6th to help us slow down to the corner. Charles Leclerc with a 1:14.9. Absolutely smashing Lucas Weber there. We'll come up to the final 2 corners, taking all the road we can. Across the line.
You're in the top 10 now.
And it looks like it's a 1:16.7. And as we can see here, it's absolutely buried us down in 14th. And at this stage, some of our engine components were looking a little bit old. So I came to the decision that we're probably going to change. We're going to go take a few grid penalties. So we go through and we click the plus on absolutely all of them. Take an extra component for everything. Why not? It's a nice little 30 place grid penalty there. We have a look at the results now. Pierre Gasly in P4. And we scroll down, we see Lucas Weber in P7, so he's made his way into Q3 again. Good for him. And George Russell in 13th and myself in 15th. So that is going to end off qualifying here as we go and have a look at the rivalry update. Still leading the rivalries, and we're 1 point away from beating George Russell, so we should be able to clear that up pretty easily in the race. And now we also get the resource point upgrade. So we gained 121 there from qualifying. And we lost reputation with almost all of the teams here. We didn't lose any with Toro Rosso though. Maybe because
obviously
they're doing
I
so
expected
poorly.
a better session, but these things happen from time to time. Try to make up for it in the race.
As we're going to do one last quick little check of the weather here and then head into the race.
Good afternoon and welcome to a place that is very special to us all in the Formula One community. It's the Hockenheim Ring, home of the German Grand Prix. Always good for a close scrap is Hockenheim. Think back to Alonso, Ricciardo, Vettel as recently as 2014, and I'm expecting some more strong racing today. Joining me for today's race once again is Anthony Davidson. Why don't we discuss McLaren? They haven't had any retirements in the last 5 races. What do you think that says about the reliability of their car?
It's a good statistic for sure, as it demonstrates not only mechanical reliability, but consistency from both drivers as well. These are 2 of the first boxes you have to tick for any successful season.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday puts him on pole, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Gasly, Vettel, Max Verstappen and Grosjean. Bottas, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Stroll, Weber and Kevin Magnussen. Ricciardo, Russell, Kimi Raikkonen and a Williams. Perez, Butler, Carlos Sainz and Nico Hülkenberg. Albon and Lando Norris starts from the back of the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So you saw that even though we have 30 places worth of grid penalties, we're going to be starting one better than where we actually ended there in
This is our
Q2.
engine supplier's home Grand Prix. Let's give them a race worth watching.
And now it's time to go and have a look at the race strategy. And they're putting us from softs to mediums. And I'm pretty sure here, because we're starting in 14th, we're just going to reverse it like we always have been doing. And try and get that late run going for us. And we're going to come in and pit on lap 11 to use the softs to their maximum advantage. And now it's time to get started. We go to 5 red lights. And we are off and racing here for the German Grand Prix. Now we get a pretty terrible start, but so does everyone else behind us. We close up right on the back of Raikkonen there. as we're heading up towards turn number 3. And we get a big dive on Russell, and we're even up on the inside of Magnussen there. Couldn't quite get the move to stick, but then we go around the outside of him, get in the grass, and we lose all the momentum we had. So now we're just one in front of our teammate. But we are closing in on Magnussen again as we go into a rich fuel mixture. We go for a big dive around the outside, trying to get Weaver as well. Doesn't look like we're going to quite get Weaver here, because we were boxed in a little bit by Ricciardo. Now it's time to look for a way around Lucas Weaver, see what we can do. He goes right, so we dive it in on his left. A little bit of contact there on the exit as we squeeze him out. And now we're on the charge to our fellow Australian there, as we've made it into 10th place here with 3/4 of this lap done. And it looks like these guys are getting a little bit bottlenecked in front of me, so it shouldn't be too long before we get onto the tail of them. Charles Leclerc is leading to the end of this first lap. We go for a little bit of a drift there through turn 1. Lucas Weaver trying to find his way back around as he goes for a big dive there up the inside. And Magnussen also on our outside as we get around Magnussen again. And we're going to charge back after Weaver and get him in the hairpin. And we actually get him well before the hairpin, the rich fuel mixture and the slipstream. Then we go very wide here, locked up very late into the braking zone. Weaver was able to get us. Here's an outside view of what happened. We got the move made, and then our brakes just didn't want to work as sufficiently as we wanted them to. Lucas gets up on our inside there. Now we go for a big dive on Lucas Weaver again. We make a little real contact and completely squeeze him out over the exit ripple strip there. He's probably not going to be too happy about it. As now we move on to the end of lap 5, and we are right on the tail of Lance Stroll now. It's all about just trying to stay in his draft, as we've got DRS on him at the minute. See what we can do to try and get around the Racing Point car here. Open up the DRS flaps again, put it into rich fuel mix, and we're going to make this a very easy outside overtake as the guys in front of us are battling it out as well. That's Ricciardo and Grosjean. And we squeeze Stroll out on the exit of the corner. We even got a warning for it. And now we're right behind Ricciardo as we head to the end of lap 6. And Ricciardo's going very slow on the apex, he's going to the pits. So we gave him a little bit of a tap there to say that he probably should have gotten off the racing line a little bit faster than that. We move on to lap 7 now, we're about halfway through the lap. And here comes Stroll. Big inside run there. We're trying to hold it on strong on the outside. We couldn't quite get it. We gave him a little bit of a tap to say good move. Now it's time for the counter attack if we can mount it. We feint right, go left. Big lock up as we get the move done. He's on our left, he gets us back. Now we're going to charge after him again. We're here at the end of lap 7 now, and he's still on the apex. He's going to the pits as well. I was a little bit disappointed that that battle was ending right there. I wanted that to keep going. Now we move on to the end of lap 11. This is where we're coming in for our stop. We had actually very briefly inherited the race lead there.
Complete,
And
go
get
now.
unavailable. Why does it keep doing that to me?
Look after these
As we
tyres
sit on the
now.
pit lane
We want to
for a
finish the
little bit
race on
longer
this
than we should
compound.
have. It's time for us to start charging. We come out behind Ricciardo as we now move on to the end of lap 13. We finally caught up to Stroll and Ricciardo.
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Thanks, Jeff. There's really vital information. We get the DRS, we got it in rich fuel mix. And we're going to get the outside pass done on Stroll, maybe. We're squeezing down as far as we could to the apex, and now we're right on the tail of Ricciardo. We have the soft tyres, he's on the medium, so we get an easy run on him here. But he's holding in strong on the inside, we give him as much room as we dare, and we get that move done on the outside of that corner. And now we jump onto lap 15, this is towards the start of it. We're on the back of Grosjean, and we do have the fast lap of the GP at the moment. We get DRS, Grosjean has no one in front of him, no way of defending. Up in rich fuel mix, and that was very academic, that pass. The next car in the queue is Pierre Gasly, our new rival, but I'm not sure that we're actually going to be able to catch him here.
Be aware, there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
And there's yellow flags ahead. And it looks like there's a blue and red car on the inside. It's Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen out of the Grand Prix. Checking the replay. And it looks like it might be a electrical or a hydraulic issue. And that is Max Verstappen out of the race.
This is your final lap of the race.
We move on now to the end of to the start of the last lap actually. And we can see that we're in P6 now with Max Verstappen's departure from the race.
Our gap to the car in front is
This race definitely
4.5
humbled me
seconds.
quite a bit here. I wasn't expecting to do too well, considering we bumped up the AI, but after how the last race went at Silverstone, I was strongly thinking about upping the AI difficulty again. We're currently sitting on
Less than a lap
80%.
of fuel now. The tank is empty. We're sat in 6th. Gasly is ahead of you. The gap to the car ahead is 4.5 seconds. They're on old hards. Grosjean is behind you. The gap to the car behind is 1.8 seconds. They're on old mediums. The distance to the leader is 18.4 seconds. This is your final lap of the race.
And it looks like Lewis Hamilton has won the Grand Prix. You guys can't actually see it because of the name banner at the top there. But we can see it over on the left now as we take the complete drag strip line there. We come across the checkered flag, and that is P6 for us.
Good job, you did really well. Super driving.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today, and the results speak for themselves.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So there is the podium. Hamilton, Vettel and Leclerc.
So let's review the updated driver's standings. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Now, let's discuss, Ants. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
I think I'm going to award it to the Williams driver. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt
So having a look at
maximised
the
their
results
potential.
here, we see
Let's
Pierre
move on to the
Gasly
constructors.
in fifth, just in
Mercedes
front of us.
continue to extend their lead.
But,
And with
we
that,
got the
we wrap
fastest
up
lap of the
another
Grand Prix there,
weekend
so
of
that'll help us
motorsport.
claw a
But with
point
more
back
races
on
lined
him.
up, be sure to join us when
We'll
we
scroll
come
down
back
a little bit
with
further here.
more
We see
Formula
Lucas
One.
Weber down in 13th. Our teammate George Russell fell down to 16th after starting 12th. Devon Butler down to 18th. We'll have a look at the standings. We're still in P3 in the standings. Leclerc and Max Verstappen have swapped positions there. And Williams still P4. In fact, there's no change in constructors at all. So we'll go to our interview with Claire.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy? We all underestimated you, didn't we? You had a close battle today, didn't you? It was more like dodgems than Formula 1 today, wasn't it? Great. Well, that's everything.
Alright, now it's time for the rivalry update here. And even though we had the measure over our teammate, me and Pierre Gasly, they're actually tied on the amount of ticks we got. But that is rivalry 1 between us and our teammate George Russell. So we get a little bit of a bonus there for beating George Russell. And we lost a lot of respect with our own team there again.
Excellent result today. Finishes like that will look good on your contract reviews. On to the next one.
Now it's time to quickly go through the messages, and it looks like we've got some news clippings here as well. Feel free to pause and have a read of them if you'd like. Now we're going to move on to the R&D tree. And as you can see, we've already put that chassis upgrade back on. So now we're just looking around to see what we can do next. And I think we are going to go for this minor aero upgrade. Then we'll have 3 major upgrades there for the aero department to do next. And if we do that bottom one, then it opens up the tree a little bit more again. And those 2 on the left and the right kind of end it for those 2 particular areas of the tree. And after that, I don't think we actually went for anything else, just because we're just kind of trying to save up our resource points a little bit from here on out. Like, we will still be doing a little bit of spending and a little bit of R&D upgrades, but I know very soon we're going to start getting the notification to say that there's going to be an R&D reset for the next season. And I'm just kind of trying to prepare for that a little bit, just in case we would lose a large proportion of one of the trees. As you see, we're just putting some parts back to the way they should be, like just seeing how the wear's going on a few of them, and putting them back to the previous component if it warrants it. But for now, guys, that is going to wrap up this episode of the Formula 1 Noob Career Mode. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It really does help, and thank you for watching. As usual, we're going to leave you with the highlights package as provided by Formula 1. And I'll see you guys next time.